Welcome to English for Academic Reading. In this course, you will be exposed to the basic reading skills. These skills will help you to understand text at tertiary level. It focuses on building and enhancing your ability to interpret content and analyze the organization of ideas in text. We will be covering 7 topics for this module. I'm Fauzia Saadah Abdul Halim, and I will be explaining the topics on identifying topics and patterns of organization and distinguishing between facts and opinions.
Hi, I am Ananda Lakshmi Ponaya. I will be doing the topics of skimming and scanning, determining meanings of words using dictionary, contextual clues, affixes and root words.
Hi, I am Parimala Devi Devaraju. I will be explaining the topic on stated main idea and supporting details.
Hi, I'm Associate Professor Dr. Anilka Aziz Hussain. I'll be covering topics on formulating implied main idea, making inferences, and drawing conclusions. I hope you enjoy the lesson. See you.
Welcome to topic 1, scanning and skimming. Welcome to topic 1, scanning and skimming. Here are examples of instances when we can scan and skim for information without realizing it. When we look at a map, we are scanning for a city or a particular road. We look at a bulletin board for an advertisement for an apartment for rent, for example. The cover of a book holds a great deal of information, for example, what the book is about or who wrote it. You might actually scan and skim for information before deciding to buy a book. You will be amazed at how much information is available on the tissue box. For example, how many pulls it has. Does it have 2-ply or 3-ply? Or is the tissue color tinted? And finally, the chili sauce bottle. Is the chili sauce Thai chili sauce, garlic chili sauce, or good old regular chili sauce? Learning outcomes. At the end of the topic, you should be able to scan for specific information and skim for general idea, pattern of organization, and point of view. Introduction. We go through a great deal of information in a day. Sometimes we read to finish an assignment or read for information. Example, when you scan the list of ingredients for a possible undesired item in the chili sauce bottle. The truth is that there is so much reading to be done in a limited time. Scanning and skimming are very important skills that are required in life. These skills help you get your work done quickly. Most of us constantly scan for information without knowing it. So it is not a new skill, but a skill we have not labeled as scanning. But why do we need these skills? To save time. These skills help us get to target information fast, leaving us with time to focus on other aspects of our life. Scanning is a reading skill where you try to find facts and answers quickly to specific questions. Skimming is another skill that will help you read quickly to get the main idea of a passage, for example, by skipping details, minor ideas, and examples. Scanning. What is scanning? Scanning is the act of searching and locating facts quickly to be able to find answers to specific questions. When you buy a ticket to watch a movie, there are all sorts of information on the ticket. You need to scan your ticket to find out information on either which movie to go to or which row your seat is at. On your left is a movie ticket. In this case, you need to be focused and know exactly what you are looking for. Example, which is the cinema that is showing the movie you want to watch? To be able to do that, you don't read all the information on the movie ticket, but instead look or scan for an area that provides that specific information, for example, which cinema? Cinema 1. Steps you need to follow to be able to scan a text. A. Know what you are looking for. B. Find subheadings or page headings that can help locate facts. C. Train eyes to glance over passage, meaningful words or phrases in a sentence quickly. And D. Time management is very important. Skimming. This is the skill of identifying general ideas of a text or passage by reading and moving eyes quickly over the passage. Here you do not have to read every word, only select certain parts of the passage to get the main idea. You also don't have to look for specific details. Skimming is a skill that will help you read quickly to get the main idea of a passage, for example, by skipping details, minor ideas, and examples. In other words, you will learn to speed read. Speed reading is skimming the text to get the gist of a passage. Knowing the patterns of organization is always very helpful when you skim a passage. There are 4 common patterns of organization, namely sequence, cause and effect, comparison and contrast, and finally time order. You may want to know, or you may be asked to find out, how the writer has organized his article. These common patterns of organization will be discussed in detail in later topics. Skimming is always an important skill to know. There are times when you may skim to find out the author's point of view. You always want to know the author's point of view, both for casual reading or exam purposes. Knowing the author's point of view helps to understand the reading passage better. The example here gives you an idea of how you can use skimming to find out the author's point of view or what the passage is about. The example starts with the secondary school at Kanga, Perlis, has school rules that are very effective. This sentence is a topic sentence. It gives you an idea about the whole paragraph. How do you know if the author approves of the secondary school's school rules? To do this, you need to identify a few important words. The phrase, very effective at the end of the first sentence seems to set the stage that the author might be leaning towards liking the school rules. Other words, for example, highly disciplined, almost no gangsterism, and strict school rules, deterred and uncontrolled unforeseen circumstances, are all positive words that show that the author likes the school rules in the Kanga school. Note, now here's a good example to show that you do not need to read every word in the text to learn about the author's point of view. This is how skimming works for you. Another factor that will contribute to understanding of what is going on in a passage is the cohesiveness of text. All this means is a smooth and logical flow of idea. When you are able to identify, use signal words, identify heading and subheading, you will understand and follow how the author has organized his or her ideas. Signal words give you an idea or clue of the relationship between the parts of sentence and between sentences or paragraph. Example of signal words are given in the table. Signal words help the reader to recognize or locate the subject, the general idea of the passage, and the author's organization. This is very important, especially when we are faced with large amounts of reading material to be read before the next class. Steps you need to follow to be able to skim a text or passage. A. Think about the title and what it may mean. B. If there isn't a title, then read the topic sentence and the introductory paragraph carefully. C. Read the first sentence of each paragraph. D. It is often helpful to read a few words in the middle of each paragraph. E. And finally, read the last paragraph carefully, as a conclusion is where authors summarize the main idea. Summary. Scanning and skimming remain to be very important skills to be achieved in life. It is hoped that this lesson helps you scan and skim for important information. University students are expected to read many books, articles, or online information, to name a few, in a very short time. You might be going through 80 books, scanning for a mention of jackfruit, a favorite Malaysian fruit also known as nangka, belonging to the same family as the mulberry. This is where techniques of scanning and skimming will save you many hours of hard work. However, this is not a skill confined to students only. Anybody can learn this skill and use it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. You have a good day. Bye.
Hi, welcome to topic 3, determining the topic of a paragraph. In this topic, you will learn how to identify topics in a paragraph. Identifying a topic can help you to find the author's main idea. When you are reading, it is important to look for a general subject of the selection. This will help you determine the main idea of the paragraph or passage that you are reading. Understanding the main idea is key to good comprehension. But before you can do that, you need to be able to identify its topic first. What do you think these two people are talking about? They are talking about their exam. How do you know? You look for clues to find out what the whole conversation is about. You are looking for the topic of the conversation. In this topic, you will learn how to determine the topic of a paragraph. English is a topic-centered language. In every paragraph, the writer focuses on discussing a single main topic. All the details provided are used to support his or her ideas about the topic. In all good paragraphs, you will find three important elements: a topic, a main idea, and some details. In relation to this, your understanding of a paragraph depends on you to determine the topic and the main idea. Let's look at the definition of topic before we begin the module. A topic is a word or a name or a concept or a phrase that tells who or what a paragraph is all about, or what the author is writing about. Usually, the topic of a paragraph can be expressed in one word or a phrase consisting of two or more words. Now, let's look at some of the strategies to determine a topic of a paragraph. What you need to do is, first, look for a header or a title. This pretty much tells you what the topic of the paragraph is about. Second, look for words that are in special print. The writer can decide to italicize, underline, or bold the words or phrase, or perhaps the writer can use a different color from the rest of the text to highlight it. Third, look for repeated words or phrases in a paragraph. Lastly, look for a name, a word or a phrase that is mentioned by the writer at the beginning of the paragraph and then referred to throughout the paragraph by pronouns or other words. To illustrate, let's look at a sample paragraph. Read the paragraph. In this paragraph, the topic is clearly stated in the header or the title. The header shows the topic of this paragraph is China's unique delicacies. The rest of the paragraph talks about the different types of insects which are considered a unique delicacy for the Chinese. Let's look at another sample paragraph. Read the paragraph. The header shows the topic of this paragraph is cookies and advertising. Phrases like cookies and advertising are the most frequently mentioned words in this paragraph. It is the one that best describes what all of the sentences in the paragraph are about. Thus, the topic of the paragraph is cookies and advertising, and the rest of the sentences in the paragraph talk about how cookies are used for online advertising. Let's look at another sample paragraph. Read the paragraph. The sample paragraph does not have a topic. Let us look at how we can determine the topic by using the clues given. Now, look at the first sentence. The word geisha is italicized, and that is an indication of what the paragraph is going to be about. The second sentence has two entries of the word geisha, and both are italicized. Let's look at another sample paragraph. Read the paragraph. The sample paragraph does not have a topic. Let us look at how we can determine the topic by using the clues given. The sample paragraph does not have a topic. Let us look at how we can determine the topic by using the clues given. The word island and Ibiza were repeated many times throughout the paragraph. Therefore, you can guess that the topic of the paragraph is Ibiza Island, or the island of Ibiza, as the word island was repeated 7 times. Let's look at another sample paragraph. Read the paragraph. The sample paragraph does not have a topic. Let us look at how we can determine the topic by using the clues given. Now, let's see. The word Emperor Shah Jahan was mentioned in the beginning of the paragraph, then referred to by pronouns and other words throughout the paragraph, such as him, he, the amorous emperor. Therefore, you can infer that the topic of this paragraph is the Emperor Shah Jahan. Guided practice. Read the paragraph. Determine the topic of the paragraph using clues given by the author.
Were you able to determine the topic of the paragraph? Now, let's see. The word a single person was mentioned in the beginning of the paragraph, then referred to by definition and other related words throughout the paragraph. Therefore, you can guess that the topic of this paragraph is a single person or the perks of being single. Guided practice. Read the paragraph. Determine the topic of the paragraph using clues given by the author. Now, let's see. The word road collisions and drunk drivers were mentioned numerous times in the paragraph, then referred to by pronouns and other words such as drivers, alcohol, alcohol-related traffic collision throughout the article. Therefore, you can guess that the topic of this article is road collision and drunk driving. Guided practice. Read the paragraph. Determine the topic of the paragraph using clues given by the author. By now, you can clearly see that the clues given by the author has something to do with positive self-image or looking good. Therefore, you can guess that the topic of this article is positive self-image. In summary, a topic is a word or name, concept or phrase that tells you who or what a paragraph is all about, or what the author is writing about. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to complete the activity section to conclude this topic. Bye.
Hello everyone. Welcome to topic 4, identifying stated main idea. Look at the list of words. Which word represents a general idea? Which words represent examples of specific details? As you can see, the word that represents the general idea is flower, and the words that represent examples are jasmine, lily, rose, hibiscus. Jasmine, lily, rose, hibiscus are examples of flowers. Now, let's look at another list. Which word do you think represents a general idea? Which words represent examples of specific details? The word that represents the general idea is herb. Rosemary, dill, basil, thyme are examples of herbs. Once you can differentiate between a general idea and the specific details, you are ready to look at the general idea in a paragraph. At the end of this topic, you should be able to identify the stated main idea. Read this paragraph. Can you identify the general idea? What are the specific details? Explanation. In this paragraph, the general idea is supported by details. Let's look at it again. What is the paragraph about? Can you identify the topic of the paragraph? The paragraph is about volcanoes. So the topic of the paragraph is volcanoes. Which sentence is the most general sentence in the paragraph? As you can see, the most general sentence is volcanoes can be classified based on their size, structure, and explosive style. In this sentence, the writer wants the readers to know more about the size, structure, and explosive styles of volcanoes. The sentences which tell you about the size, structure, and explosive style of volcanoes are sentences which represent the specific details. How to identify the stated main idea sentence? You can identify the stated main idea by identifying the sentence that contains the most important point about the topic in a paragraph. This sentence is the main idea sentence. In a paragraph, when a main idea is stated in a sentence, it is known as the stated main idea. Sometimes the stated main idea sentence in a paragraph is referred to as the topic sentence. Guided practice 1. What is the stated main idea of the paragraph? To find out what is the stated main idea, you must first identify the topic and the sentence, which is the most general sentence in the paragraph. Once you have identified that, it would be easy to identify the stated main idea because the sentence that contains the most important point about the topic in a paragraph is the stated main idea sentence. Let's analyze the paragraph. As you can see, the stated main idea sentence is the most general sentence in the paragraph, which condenses all the details of the paragraph. In this paragraph, the sentence which condenses all the details of the paragraph is the first sentence. It indicates that the paragraph would be about the specific duties. The rest of the sentences indicate the duties. These sentences are referred to as supporting details, as the sentences tell you more about the specific duties, which include: he removes usable metals from ores. He also examines and studies metal corrosion. He has to find ways to make metals stronger and more adaptable. He has to test metals to ensure that they meet quality and safety standards.
What are the features of a main idea sentence? The main idea sentence usually contains the topic. The main idea sentence must be a complete sentence. The main idea sentence is the most general sentence in the paragraph, which condenses all the details of the paragraph. What is the stated main idea of the paragraph? To be able to do this, you must first ask yourself these questions. What is the topic of the paragraph, or what is the paragraph about? Which sentence is the most general sentence in the paragraph, which condenses all the details of the paragraph? The paragraph is about childhood obesity. The stated main idea sentence is the first sentence. Studies have identified several causes of childhood obesity. The other sentences explain the factors that cause childhood obesity.
The stated main idea sentence is not always located in the beginning of the paragraph. The main idea sentence can be located at the beginning of the paragraph, in the middle of the paragraph, or at the end of the paragraph.
In this paragraph, the first sentence is the stated main idea. The other sentences are details.
The main idea sentence can appear in the middle of the paragraph. Look at this paragraph. As you can see, sentence 1 and sentence 2 are introductory sentences. They introduce the idea of aeronautical engineering. Sentence 3 is the stated main idea sentence. This is the sentence which condenses all the details in the paragraph. Sentence 4, sentence 5, and sentence 6 are details. These sentences tell you more about the characteristics of an aeronautical engineer. These sentences are supporting details which support the main idea. The main idea sentence can appear at the end of the paragraph. In this paragraph, the most general sentence in the paragraph, which condenses all the details of the paragraph, is the last sentence. The stated main idea is at the end of the paragraph. The rest of the sentences tell you about the steps that can be taken to reduce the risk of cancer. As you can see,
Sentence 1 is the introductory statement. Sentence 2 is also the introductory statement. Sentence 3 is the stated main idea, which is positioned in the middle of the paragraph. Sentence 4, Sentence 5, and Sentence 6 are supporting details. Summary. You have learned that in a paragraph, the sentence that contains the most important points about the topic is called the main idea sentence. When a main idea is stated in a sentence, it is known as the stated main idea. Sometimes, the stated main idea sentence is referred to as the topic sentence. You also know that the main idea sentence usually contains the topic. The main idea sentence must be a complete sentence. The main idea sentence is the most general sentence in a paragraph, which condenses all the details of the paragraph. And finally, you should be aware that the main idea sentence can be found at the beginning of the paragraph. The main idea sentence can be found in the middle of the paragraph. The main idea sentence can be found at the end of the paragraph.
Hi everyone, welcome to Topic 6, Formulating Implied Main Idea. In this lesson, you will learn how to formulate implied main idea. There are 3 guided practices to guide you through the process of formulating implied main idea for a passage. In a conversation, there are times that we express our intention and thought directly. And there are also times when we do that indirectly. Let's watch the conversation between the 2 students.
Hi Tila,
Hi Adele.
are you free this afternoon? Would you like to go out for tea?
I'm sorry, I have other plans. I plan to go to the library.
That's a better idea. We can go to the library together.
But I promised Anna to go with her.
I'm sure Anna doesn't mind if I tag along.
But we have to go to the post office before we go to the library.
I don't mind sending both of you to the post office. After all, I have a car.
That's very nice of you, but no thanks. We have a few chores to do after that.
No problem. I'll wait for you in the car. We can go to the library after you settle all the chores.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Goodbye, Adele.
What did I do? What did I say?
In this conversation, we can tell that Tila does not want to go out with Adele. How do we know? Through the excuses given by Tila. In this conversation, Tila declined Adele's invitation to go out with him. Though Tila's rejection was not stated clearly, we could tell that she did not want to go out with Adele through the excuses she gave. Adele, on the other hand, was clueless and he kept on pushing. Adele needs to understand the underlying meanings of the utterances in order for him to see that Tila does not want to go out with him. The use of direct and indirect means to communicate intention is common. The purpose of using indirect means to communicate intention is to disguise real intention or to give hints. Authors also use direct and indirect means to communicate their ideas. If the idea is clearly stated in the text, it is known as stated main idea. If the idea is not clearly stated in the text but strongly suggested by the supporting details, it is known as implied main idea. As readers, it is easy for you to identify what a passage is about if the main idea is stated clearly in the passage. However, authors do not state the main idea of the passage all the time. When this happens, you need to use the information in the passage to determine the main idea of the passage. This is what the lesson is about, formulating implied main ideas. Implied main idea refers to the main idea that is not stated directly in the passage. However, it is strongly suggested by the supporting information found in the passage. Every paragraph has a main idea, but not all paragraphs have the main idea stated clearly in one sentence. The main idea is implied within the paragraphs, and you have to use the information found in the paragraphs to formulate the implied main idea. How to find an implied main idea in a passage? What you need to do is to read between the lines. You need to find out what the author wants to tell you. There are 4 steps to formulate an implied main idea in a passage. First, you need to analyze the sentences. Second, you need to identify the main points in the passage. Third, you need to create a general statement based on the main points that you have identified in step 2. Fourth, check your implied main idea. Guided Practice 2. Look at the cartoon. What can you infer about the person? Based on the cartoon, you can infer that the person is not feeling very well. How do you come about making this inference? Ask yourself the following questions. Why do you think the caller said that? Why do you think no one is picking up the phone? How do you know the person is not feeling well? Why do you think the caller said that? You can infer that no one is picking up the phone. The phone has been ringing for many times. Why do you think no one is picking up the phone? You can infer that the person is not feeling very well to get up and pick up the phone. How do you know the person is not feeling very well? The person is lying on a bed with a towel on his forehead and a thermometer in his mouth. Are the answers provided in the cartoon? No, the answers are not stated in the cartoon. You are making an inference that the person could not get up to answer the phone because he is not feeling well. Guided Practice 3. You are to make some inferences based on the video. These questions are to help you make some inferences. What do you think Adele was doing? Do you think Tila wanted to go out with Adele? Do you think Adele liked Tila? Do you think Tila liked Adele? Do you think Adele was aware that Tila did not want to go out with him? Let's watch the video.
Hi Tila,
Hi Adele.
are you free this afternoon? Would you like to go out for tea?
I'm sorry, I have other plans. I plan to go to the library.
That's a better idea. We can go to the library together.
But I promised Anna to go with her.
I'm sure Anna doesn't mind if I tag along.
But we have to go to the post office before we go to the library.
I don't mind sending both of you to the post office. After all, I have a car.
That's very nice of you, but no thanks. We have a few chores to do after that.
No problem. I'll wait for you in the car. We can go to the library after you settle all the chores.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Goodbye, Adele.
What did I do? What did I say?
Question 1. What do you think Adele was doing? Your answer? Adele was trying to ask Tila to go out with him. How do you know? Based on the following attempts made by Adele as shown in Picture 1, Picture 2, Picture 3, Picture 4, and Picture 5. Question 2. Do you think Tila wanted to go out with Adele? Your answer? Tila did not want to go out with Adele. How do you know? Based on the following series of rejection as shown in Picture 1, Picture 2, Picture 3, and Picture 4. Question 3. Do you think Adele liked Tila? Your answer? Adele liked Tila. How do you know? Adele kept on trying to make Tila to accept his invitation to go out with him. Question 4. Do you think Tila liked Adele? Your answer? Tila did not like Adele. How do you know? Tila kept on giving excuses not to go out with Adele. Question 5. Do you think Adele was aware that Tila did not want to go out with him? Your answer? No, he wasn't. How do you know? He was wondering what went wrong. Are the answers provided in the video? No, the answers are not provided directly in the video. You are making an inference that Tila did not want to go out with Adele because she did not like him. On the other hand, Adele was not aware that Tila didn't like him. That was why he kept on trying his luck.
We are at the end of our lesson. These are what you have learned. Imply and infer are different, but they are related. Imply is sending a message, while infer is receiving a message. You are making an inference based on the information provided in the cartoons or videos. You use your existing knowledge to make an inference about what is going on in the picture. In the next section, you will learn how to make inferences based on information in a text.
Making inferences and drawing conclusions 3. Guided practice 2. This table shows the use of simple or compound sentences used in reading passages at different academic levels. Look at the information provided in the table. There are 4 different academic levels. Level 1 refers to the foundation level. Level 2 refers to the intermediate level. Level 3 refers to the high intermediate level. And level 4 refers to the advanced level. N refers to the number of reading passages involved in this study. There are 60 reading passages, 15 passages for each academic level respectively. Means refers to the average percentage of use. 82.73% of the sentences in Level 1 passages consist of simple or compound sentences. 69.8% of the sentences in Level 2 passages consist of simple or compound sentences. 58.6% of the sentences in Level 3 passages consist of simple or compound sentences. 55.93% of the sentences in Level 4 passages consist of simple or compound sentences. From this information, you can conclude that reading passages at lower academic levels contain more simple and compound sentences than passages at higher academic levels. Making inferences and drawing conclusions 3. Guided practice 3. Watch the video showing conversation between Adele and Tila one more time.
Hi, Tila.
Hi Adele.
Are you free this afternoon? Would you like to go out for tea?
I'm sorry, I have other plans. I plan to go to the library.
That's a better idea. We can go to the library together.
But I promised Anna to go with her.
I'm sure Anna doesn't mind if I tag along.
But we have to go to the post office before we go to the library.
I don't mind sending both of you to the post office. After all, I have a car.
That's very nice of you, but no thanks. We have a few chores to do after that.
No problem. I'll wait for you in the car. We can go to the library after you settle all the chores.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Goodbye, Adele.
What did I do? What did I say?
These are the inferences you made earlier. You are making an inference that Tila did not want to go out with Adele because she did not like him. On the other hand, Adele was not aware that Tila didn't like him. That was why he kept on trying his luck. Now, draw a conclusion based on the inferences that you have made. The conclusion is, no matter how hard Adele tries, Tila will never agree to go out with him. Guided practice 4. Look at the picture again. You have made the following inferences before. You infer that no one is picking up the phone. You infer that the person is not feeling very well. Now, draw a conclusion based on the inferences that you have made. The conclusion is, the person will not be able to go to work that day. Making inferences and drawing conclusions 3. Guided practice 5. Read the excerpt from My Beloved again. You have made the following inferences before. The man lived alone in the house. He was thinking about something. He was so happy that his beloved was finally home. His beloved was probably in a workshop. Now, draw a conclusion based on the inferences that you have made. The conclusion is, the elderly man loves his motorbike more than anything. Guided practice 6. Read the text again. Previously, you have made this inference that Alicia will only understand the English language. Now, draw a conclusion regarding this situation. Alicia may not be able to communicate with her grandparents who do not speak English.
We are at the end of this lesson. This is what you have learned in this lesson. You can draw a conclusion based on the information provided in the passage. You use your existing knowledge to read between the lines. I hope to see you again in other modules. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to topic 8, distinguishing between facts and opinions. In this topic, you will learn how to assess text by determining its composition of facts and opinions. Knowing the difference between fact and opinion is essential for good reading comprehension. If a person cannot tell the difference between fact and opinion, they cannot judge whether the information being presented has value and credibility.
Have you had this news forwarded to you on Facebook? A lady claimed that the local town council threw her goods on the road, causing thousands ringgit worth of loss, and the town council denied her claims. Global warming has caused icebergs to melt, resulting hundreds and hundreds of polar bears stranded on one giant remaining iceberg. An unknown plant that is very toxic and can cause death. And a professor's mathematical equation that explain the existence of Santa Claus. What do you do once you read this news? Do you check to see if these news are true or not? Do you check to see are there evidence, proof, studies to support this news? How do we know if these news are facts that are based on careful research, or perhaps they are just opinions of the writer? Now, facts and opinions are both valid sentences. Readers need to be able to distinguish facts and opinions in order to think critically. This is because writers sometimes try to make their opinions sound as if they were hard facts. This is one way to get the readers to accept what they say. In order not to be manipulated, it is imperative that you are able to differentiate facts from opinions. What is the difference between facts and opinion? Let's look at the definition of these two words before we begin the module. According to Webster, fact is defined as anything that is done or happens. Any statement strictly true, truth, reality, something demonstrated to exist or known to have existed. A fact is a statement that can be proven true by physical proof or evidences. What it means here is that facts are statements that can be verified. A person can go and check the evidence that supports a statement of fact. These evidence can be in a form of experiences, research, experiments, records, expert or witness testimonies, careful observations or measurements. Let's look at an example of a statement of fact. How do we know that all these statements are facts? One way to determine whether Malaysia is located in Southeast Asia is to look at a map. In fact, you can even Google to find records or measurements of the information given. Let's look at another example of statement of fact. How do we know that all these statements are facts? Now, to prove if both these celebrities have indeed acted in this said movie, all you need to do is ask fans of the movies or watch the movie yourself. Now we know what facts means. Let's define the word opinion. According to Webster, an opinion is defined as indicating a belief, view, sentiment, conception. An opinion is a personal belief or judgment that is subjective. In other words, an opinion is a statement that are open to interpretations or statements that are arguable or cannot be proved or disproved, quantified, or measured. Since an opinion is based on a person's judgment, we need to look at some of the judgment words out there. Judgment words are words that are full of emotions, which expresses opinions, biasness, judgments, and various interpretations. Once you recognize these judgment words, it will be easier for you to identify statements that are obviously opinions. Let's look at an example of a statement of opinion. The word wonderful is a judgment word. The author is being biased when he or she is stating that Malaysia is a wonderful place for a vacation. Other judgment word in the statement is the word likely, which shows uncertainty, as there is no way of making certain how the weather is going to be like for the whole year. Predicting something to happen is basically making opinions. Here is another example of statement of opinion. Judgment words in this example are spectacular and better suited. We can infer that the author is definitely not in favor of Lisa Surihani's performance in the movie and would rather prefer other female actress to play the lead role, which is Diana Danielle. You need to keep in mind that some statements have a mixture of both statement of fact and statement of opinion. Let's look at an example of a statement of fact and opinion. The first statement, Malaysia is separated into two regions, the Peninsula Malaysia and Malaysian Borneo, can be proven by referring to a map or searching a Google. This statement is a fact. But in the second part of the statement, the word wonderful is a biased word, which makes this part of the statement an opinion. You may agree or disagree that Malaysia is a wonderful place to have a vacation, but that does not make it a fact. Here is another example of statements that mix both fact and opinion. The first statement, Aaron Aziz, who won Berita Harian's Most Popular Actor Award in 2013 and 2014, can be proven by referring to a newspaper, Google, or a fan of Aaron Aziz. Therefore, this part of a statement is a fact. However, for the second statement, words like most and amazing are judgment words, which makes this statement an opinion. You may disagree that the movie Suamiku Encik Perfect 10 is the most amazing movie, but that does not make the statement a fact. Another clue to spot statement of opinion is to look out for persuasive words or modal verbs, such as ought to, have to, should, must, or could. Look at the samples given. The word ought to, must, and should are all persuasive words which shows obligations or recommendations. They are all statements of opinion. You must remember that these are the keywords that the authors use to persuade you to agree to their opinions. In addition, there are also statements presented as facts but are actually opinions. Here are some examples of qualifier words to look out for, such as guided practice. Read the passage and determine whether the statements are facts or opinions. Were you able to determine which statements are facts and which are opinions? Let's look at these statements one by one. Guided practice. Read the passage and determine whether the statements are facts or opinions. Were you able to determine which statements are facts and which are opinions? Let's look at these statements one by one. Guided practice. Read the passage and determine whether the statements are facts or opinions. Were you able to determine which statements are facts and which are opinions? Let's look at these statements one by one. Guided practice. Read the passage and determine whether the statements are facts or opinions. Were you able to determine which statements are facts and which are opinions? Let's look at these statements one by one. Guided practice. Read the passage and determine whether the statements are facts or opinions. Were you able to determine which statements are facts and which are opinions? Let's look at these statements one by one.
In summary, a fact is a statement that can be checked and backed up with proof or evidence, such as from experiences, research, experiments, records, testimonies, observations, or measurements. An opinion is a statement that is based on a belief or views, and most often not based on evidence. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to complete the activity section to conclude this topic. Bye.